San Fran sick of it. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Now, you got to hand it to liberals. They really have some nerve. They go about destroying public education with their woke agendas, sanctuary policies, watered down curricula, and then think parents somehow won't notice when they attempt to hide it by eliminating objective standards. Nice try. Now, you may not be aware, but schools across the country have already adopted versions of what's called equitable grading. And just a few days ago, San Francisco was poised to embrace this concept fully until an outcry from parents erupted. Now, to give you some familiarity with this, the plan would exclude classwork and homework from grading. It would allow students to retake most tests, and it would essentially give no penalty for lateness or showing little to no effort, not participating in class, all that's out the window. And they would base the entire grade off of something called summative assessments, using a minimum of a 50% grade. So it's not 0 to 100 any longer. And I know you're asking, what is this? And there must be an education consultant who's driving this. You bet. Meet Joe Feldman, the author of Grading for Equity.
I'm not, saying we shouldn't use numbers to describe where students are, but there's a lot of problems with the 0 to 100 scale. And we can make that better using 0 to 4 or 1 to 4, for example.
0 to 4, 1 to 4. Okay. Well, that's silly. Why not just use smiley faces on tests instead, than a frown face when you don't do so well? Well, this ends up basically being a redistribution approach to grading because certain kids started, this theory goes, with more advantages. So we need to lower standards for the other students who didn't have those advantages and do it for equity's sake. Now listen closely, note the jargon.
Then there's the bias resistance. So in many ways, traditional grading incorporates things outside a student's control into the grade. These are sort of the institutional biases. So, students whose families are of lower income, they're less likely to be able to do some of the things that are traditionally included in grading, like extra credit assignment, like, you go to the movie based on the book, or you bring in cupcakes for the potluck we have at the end of the learning, or, things like that that require resources, time, money, supervision.
How insulting is this? How many people do all of you know who came from humble beginnings to succeed through drive and grit and, being held accountable? Did any of those people need their standards lowered, or did they need the bar held high? Well, it's pretty obvious. But wait, I digress, because liberals have another factor to blame for their students' poor performance. It's not absentee parents, it's not screen addiction or COVID closures, it's society's implicit bias.
Implicit biases, a lot of times teachers will ask students to behave in certain ways, whether it's, you need to sit quietly in your seat, or you need to take notes a particular way.
How dare students be asked to take notes or to sit in their seats quietly? What exactly are teachers supposed to do here? Now, I get it. I got boys, right? I know students sometimes need to get out of their class chairs and get the wiggles out. I get that, especially when they're little. That's a good thing. That's fine. But somehow we all survived and our country thrived with a basic code of conduct in school and some objective guidance on study habits. Makes sense. But again, they need to find something to prevent us from assessing where students truly are in their learning. And thus, we could, as taxpayers, determine how effective certain school districts are versus others. They don't want objective measures. The left needs the schools to remain propaganda factories, and a dumbed-down curriculum means dumbed-down students. And it also means, they hope, I think, a new generation of activists with little to no understanding of Western civilization or the great works that informed our founders. Remember, a long time ago, they determined all of that was racist. Again, filled with implicit bias. So at that San Francisco school board meeting a few nights ago, the assistant superintendent pushed the program and tried her best.
Teachers are really excited about partaking in this. Grading for equity as a term, I think, is a misnomer because it's the end of the road, but the practices involved leading up to that are really about learning. So for example, on an assessment, being able to provide test corrections, retakes, all of that focus is on the partnership between the teacher and the student working together to then demonstrate their learning.
Democrat Congressman Ro Khanna, who represents part of the Bay Area, was not pleased to hear this, posting on X, quote, "My immigrant dad asked me where the missing 10% went when I scored a 90. That was a tough dad, right? He came to America for the chance to work hard and pursue excellence. Giving A's for 80% and no homework is not equity. It betrays the American dream and every parent who wants more for their kids." Of course, Ro Khanna's right here. Grading equity also simply betrays common sense, though. Since when is eliminating stress? I love this. We have to eliminate stress in education. When the teachers' unions run the show, that's when they want to eliminate stress. When kids don't score well, teachers get blamed. They don't like that. Hence, why we have so much grade inflation.
Points are the primary sort of language of learning. Kids talk about points, teachers talk about points. It can be really stressful for students.
Okay. I don't believe I ever uttered the words, "I'm so stressed," when I was in high school. You had work and you did it, right? Is that? But remember, the left wants everyone to feel victimized by the system. That's the playbook, especially for minorities.
Students of color, Black students, Latinx, Indigenous students, and students of lower income. We have really used grading to punish those groups disproportionately because we have particular ways that they should learn.
There it is. Yeah, listen closely. Grades punish certain kids, minority kids. For those precious nuggets of wisdom, San Francisco taxpayers were set to fork over $172,000 to Mr. Feldman in consulting fees. What a racket. But it turns out even San Francisco liberals are fed up with this nonsense. There was almost an immediate backlash among parents and others when word got out about this scam. The superintendent was forced to backtrack. Her statement in part read, "We hold every student to high standards. It's clear that there are a lot of questions, concerns, and misinformation with this proposal. We want to make sure any changes benefit our students. I've decided not to pursue this strategy for the next year to ensure we have time to meaningfully engage the community." Meaningfully engage the community. It's more meaningless verbiage by an education bureaucrat. Now, notice she didn't say that they were ending plans for it altogether. So it looks like a temporary pause, maybe until the outrage subsides. But again, lowering the bar for kids based on race or income, ethnic background, that's cruel. That's unjust. That is discriminatory. It's just designed to insulate the schools from the consequences of their own failures and keep the disastrous woke education experiment going. I was thinking about this today as I was writing the angle. This is just one more reason of about 1 million to support statewide school choice programs. States like Iowa, Florida, Arizona, Utah, Arkansas are among the 15 states with at least one universal private school choice program. And this is parent power. And it's been a huge political winner, my friends, for Republicans. But most importantly, it is the right thing to do for parents and for students. This is the real threat to education. Propagandists against students, the teachers' unions, and the equity flim-flam artists. That has to be over, finally, diminish the influence. But where school choice doesn't yet exist and the public schools still have the monopoly on education for middle-class families, parents, they got to be vigilant. Attend school board meetings. Speak up. Organize like-minded families. Demand to be heard. You're paying the bills. You have a right to speak. We've seen this with the trans insanity in Loudoun County, Virginia, and they made changes. And you can change minds, or at least force these educrats to back down until they return, of course, with another dumb idea.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.